In this video, we'll look at the initial configuration for the LogRhythm application for ServiceNow Security Incident Response. To start, let's click on Security Integrations. Here we can see the LogRhythm pane is available, so we'll click the Configure button. This brings up two different options, one for a new configuration and one to edit an existing configuration. I'll click on New Configuration. This page shows me a lot of different fields that are available to fill in. You'll find information for each of these fields in the LogRhythm application installation and configuration guide available online. One thing to note is to edit the URL fields, click the lock button. Once you're happy with your configuration, click the validate and save button. In my case, I'm just going to click back. Next, I'll show you where to edit the configuration. I'll click Edit Configuration, and this shows me the existing configuration that I have. Next, we need to set up alarm profiles. Here we can see two different alarm profiles that I've previously set up. If I wish to set up a new one, I just click the New button. In my case, I'm going to show you an existing alarm profile that I've previously created. There are a few different fields that need to be filled in, one for the name and one for the source. This is the source that I showed you in the previous step. Next, I'll click Continue. This is where I choose the alarms that I wish to associate with this particular alarm profile. If I wanted to add additional alarms, I can just simply search for them and filter down the list. This list is a list of all of the active alarms in the LogRhythm server. If I wanted to change the selection that I currently have, I can just choose one of the alarms and move it back to the available field. Since I want to use both of these, I'm going to move it back to the selected and then choose Continue. This page is where the magic happens. This is where I actually associate the alarm fields with Security Incident Response incident fields. On the left, I can pull in alarms to see what the alarm fields look like. I just choose the alarms that I wish to pull, click the Pull button, and now I can see that I have 4 different tabs here. This is the new alarm that I've added. Now, the reason why this is important is I want to make sure that the field that I'm mapping between the alarms and the security incident are correct. You'll note that by default, we have already mapped critical alarm fields to security incident fields here. If you wish to remove any of these, just click this button. If you want to add additional fields, click the plus tab. Now I can add additional fields. I'm going to choose affected user, and I'm going to map that to the login from the alarm. Now I'm mapping login and the alarm to affected user in security incidents. Next, I can set filter conditions. In this particular alarm profile, I'm setting the filter conditions to not pull closed alarms and to only pull alarms that are greater than 50. What this is going to do is it's going to ensure that I'm not creating security incidents for every single alarm that is being created by LogRhythm. I'm going to click Continue, and this allows me to preview what alarm mapping looks like. So I'm going to pull in one of the sample alarms, and you can see that it's automatically mapping the configuration item, the affected user, as well as other information like the observables. It's also adding the alarm ID to the description. Next, we need to set the schedule and alarm retrieval. Here, I'm setting the alarm ingestion polling to 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, I'm going to check the LogRhythm server for new alarms. I can also set historical alarm retrieval by checking that box and then telling it how far back I want to go. So let's say I wanted to go back to September 1st. I just choose September 1st from the calendar, click OK, and when I click Finish, it will retrieve all of the alarms back to September 1st. Next, let's take a look at an example security incident. I'll look at all of the open security incidents. I'll click the top one. Here's a security incident that's been mapped to a specific alarm ID. We can see that it's automatically mapped configuration item information as well as the affected user. And if I scroll down, it's also automatically mapped observable information. Now I can do a lot of things with this observable information, such as doing a threat lookup to see whether or not these observables are malicious. Now let's say I've done that and I want to take action against those. I can do so directly from this security incident. I can select both observables and create a firewall block request to contain the threat. Now, let's say I've done that. So I'm going to move this to contain. And once I'm happy with the security incident and I feel like it's been completely resolved, I can actually close this. Now, it's important to note that when we close security incidents, we're also going to automatically close the associated alarm ID on the LogRhythm server. So this is going to save you time because you don't have to manually go back to LogRhythm and automatically close the alarms in LogRhythm itself. We're going to do that for you. This has been a brief overview of the initial configuration and an example of what it looks like to use LogRhythm application with ServiceNow Security Incident Response. If you have any additional questions or would like to learn more, please visit us at www.servicenow.com. Thank you.